An 80-year-old NASCAR Hall of Fame owner climbed into a race car for the first time in 57 years. A YouTube star crashed while fighting for the lead. Cleetus McFarland's fight for the lead ended in disaster. Preece finished second with a flat tire. And a local racer came from dead last to win it all. That Hall of Fame owner was Richard Childress. What happened next at Stafford Motor Speedway turned into one of the wildest nights NASCAR fans had seen all year. Almost nobody saw it coming. Before we go further, if you love stories like this one, hit that like button right now and subscribe with notifications on. Stories like this one do not come around often, and what is coming next on this channel is something you do not want to miss. Most NASCAR fans know Richard Childress one way. He is the Hall of Fame team owner, the man on pit road, the builder of champions, the face behind one of NASCAR's most powerful organizations. But that image only tells half the story. Before the empire, Childress was a struggling independent driver. Between 1969 and 1981, he made 285 Cup Series starts, recording 76 top 10 finishes and 0 wins. Every weekend was a fight for survival. Borrowed parts, tight budgets, week-to-week stubbornness just to keep the operation alive. When reporters asked him about his very first trip to Stafford Motor Speedway in 1969, his answer had nothing to do with lap times. "We didn't have much money at all," Childress said. "We had an old '54 Ford truck that we hauled the race car with. We got up here and had a lot of fun. We didn't really have any idea what we were doing." One of the most powerful men in motorsports, and his defining memory is an old truck and a team figuring it out as they went. In 1981, Childress made the decision that changed NASCAR forever. He climbed out of the car permanently and handed the famous No. 3 to a hungry young driver named Dale Earnhardt. That single decision launched one of the greatest partnerships in sport history. His last competitive appearance of any kind came in a Winston Legends exhibition in 1995. After that, the driving chapter of his life appeared to be permanently closed until Garrett Mitchell came along. You may not recognize that name immediately, but online, Garrett Mitchell is better known as Cletus McFarland, two names, one massive brand. He built an enormous following around grassroots racing and automotive content, approaching 5 million YouTube subscribers. His events pack grandstands with fans who might never attend a traditional race. He is not just an internet personality anymore. In March 2026, Mitchell signed a developmental deal with Richard Childress Racing, an introduction made possible by Childress's own grandson, Ty Dillon. RCR Vice President Danny Lawrence put it simply, he's got that whole world figured out. Driver Austin Dillon added, he's got a fan base that is massive. Mitchell now runs the No. 33 Tommy's Express Chevrolet part-time in NASCAR's second-tier series. With that direct connection to the boss established, Cletus invited Childress to race. Most would expect weeks of convincing. It took almost nothing. I talked to Cletus, and when he asked me to do it, I said, "Yeah, I'll go," Childress said. "I thought it'd just be fun." He also made a promise before the race, "We'll have a lot of fun, I assure you." A racer was asked if he wanted to race. The racer said yes. The event itself is the New England 990-lap exhibition race at Stafford Motor Speedway, a historic half-mile oval. Every driver competes in identical nitrous-powered Ford Crown Victorious. The field is a deliberate collision of worlds, NASCAR professionals, drifting stars, and automotive creators. Preece described the machines perfectly. Crown Vics are like big go-karts, an adult version of a go-kart. The 2026 field included Preece, Ty Dillon, Jesse Love, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Bobby Earnhardt, Downforce Danny, Squirrel McNutt, and Cletus McFarland. Every seat was sold out, more than 10,000 fans in attendance. The stage was set. And the pre-race storyline practically wrote itself thanks to Preece. Back in 2011, after a truck race at Kansas Speedway, Childress confronted Kyle Busch. He removed his watch, handed it to grandson Austin Dillon, and what followed was a headlock and a punch that became NASCAR legend. So when journalist Jeff Gluck asked Preece about racing against Childress, the response was instant. "Hell yeah," Preece said. Yeah, so I already told him to hold my watch. When Gluck asked whether he planned to rough up the 80-year-old, Preece backed off immediately. Rough him up? Yeah, I don't want to rough him up. When Gluck suggested Childress might be the one doing the roughing up, Preece surrendered completely. Well, he can hold my watch then. If you remember watching that 2011 watch moment live, drop a comment below and tell us where you were when it happened. Friday, July 17th, 2026, engines fired. The black No. 3 Crown Victoria, the same number once handed to Dale Earnhardt, rolled onto the track. More than 10,000 sold-out fans watched an 80-year-old man go racing at Stafford for the first time since 1969. Childress was patient and disciplined. He was not there to prove anything. He was there to finish. Early on, Jackson Jimmy led before Jay Diesel took over on lap 10. Kevin Smith grabbed the lead and traded it back and forth with Ty Dillon, including a crossover move on lap 36 that showed just how seriously these drivers were racing. Preece methodically worked forward and took the lead on lap 52, going 3 wide through lap traffic as the intensity built. And then came lap 62, the moment that nearly ended the entire comeback story. Entering turn 2, the No. 3 car broke loose. Childress spun and made contact with the outside wall. The caution flag flew immediately. The crowd held its breath. Was the night over? The answer came quickly. The damage was not enough to end his night. Richard Childress brought the black No. 3 back onto the track and kept racing. He restarted. He kept his nose clean. He ran every remaining lap. At 80 years old, after hitting the wall, he did not park the car. He got back in line and finished what he started. He crossed the finish line 10th, all 90 laps complete. While Childress authored that feel-good moment, the front of the field descended into chaos. Cleetus McFarland worked into contention and made an aggressive move on Preece for the lead on a restart. Preece fought back and reclaimed the lead on lap 72. Then Cletus made contact, slammed into the turn 2 wall, and his night was over. But the drama was not finished. During the caution laps that followed, the back and forth continued on track, and Preece emerged from the shenanigans with a flat tire, handing the lead away and reshuffling the entire running order. A restart triggered a multi-car pileup into turn 3. Squirrel McNutt went around with heavy damage. Jay Diesel led briefly. Brad Deberty took the lead by a nose, then spun out of turn 2, collecting several cars with 78 laps complete. Ty Dillon took the lead back under green. And through all of that carnage, one driver kept quietly moving forward. Zack Walker, a local short-track racer who had started dead last, had been climbing through the wreckage all night. On lap 86, Walker got a massive run down the backstretch and took the lead from Ty Dillon. Dillon refused to go away. On lap 89, Dillon moved to the outside and edged ahead by a nose as they took the white flag. On the final lap, the two made contact in turn 2. Dillon got out of shape. Zack Walker drove to the checkered flag, dead last to victory lane. Preece finished second despite the flat, followed by Kevin Smith, Ty Brown, and Jay Diesel. After the race, Preece posted on social media, "Cleet and I had quite the on-track battle. I was ready to tell RC to hold my watch. The joke landed perfectly, and it had earned every bit of it." When asked about watching Childress compete, Preece did not mince words, no, it was badass what he did. He was elbows up, swatting flies, he was having a good time. A professional NASCAR driver genuinely in awe. On the event itself, Preece captured something deeper. It's very pure. It's very raw, built around fans, autographs, and racing for the simple joy of it. The way the sport used to be. Strip away the nitrous kits, the YouTube cameras, and the sold-out grandstands. What are you left with? A man closing a 57-year circle. In 1969, Richard Childress arrived at Stafford Motor Speedway in a 1954 Ford truck with almost no money and no idea what he was doing. In 2026, he returned as one of the most powerful owners in NASCAR history, a man who could spend his Friday nights anywhere in the world in complete comfort. Instead, he chose a grassroots short track in Connecticut. He chose a new fire suit and a stock Ford Crown Victoria. He chose 90 laps of door-to-door racing against drivers young enough to be his grandchildren. He spun, he hit the wall, and he kept going. Richard Childress said before the race that he was going to have fun. He promised it. And after a spin, a wall, a 10th place finish, and one of the loudest ovations Stafford Speedway has heard in years, even the wall could not argue with that. This channel is brand new, and we are working hard to reach 1,000 subscribers. If this story moved you even slightly, if it reminded you why racing matters, please hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on. Every single subscriber genuinely helps us grow and keeps stories like this one coming. We have more incredible NASCAR and grassroots racing stories on the way, and you do not want to miss what is coming next. So now the question belongs to you. Should Richard Childress get back behind the wheel again? Or was this one perfect, unrepeatable comeback that should stand alone forever? Drop your take in the comments below. We read every single one.